red cars are Ferraris.
La macchina da corsa per me.
Welcome back to Miami International Autodrome. We're here for day 2 of our double-header weekend, the 3rd weekend of Ferrari Challenge North America. My name's Andrew Coley, this is Tony Villander.
Hey.
Mate, so good to be here. Amazing weather, completely different kind of circuit, and it's been challenging for our drivers.
Yeah, it's been a great weekend. I mean, the effort Ferrari has put together to be here in Miami just 2 weeks after Formula One is something really special. But also the comments from the drivers, the high-speed nature, the walls are really close, high temperature. How are your tires going to last the whole race? So I think the drivers and the teams learned a lot from yesterday, and they're more ready today.
They're out there now on track getting ready to go racing for those second races. They're not the only thing that's been out there. We've had the howl of I want to say old school, but, you know, engines with multiple cylinders screaming at crazy RPM, completely different to the F1 cars that were here a couple of weeks ago. And hearing that sound reverberating around the incredible Hard Rock Stadium has been wild.
Yeah, Ferrari Racing Days. What I love about Ferrari is they don't keep their race cars in museum. The older Formula One cars are on track. We have the present, we have the 296 GT cars. We have the 499P Modificata, so almost the future is already here with us. So it's a family event for sponsors. We have the great hospitality with Casa Ferrari. Everything combined together is just a great experience.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic weekend. Let's go racing, day 2. Let's go racing indeed. Weekend number 3, Miami. Race 2, Shell and Shell Am coming up for you. Coppa Shell to give it its full title. We are looking forward to getting things underway here. It's another beautiful sunny day in Miami. I was watching the weather yesterday and like rainy season starts now. We haven't seen any. I know there has been heavy rain here between the F1 and us, but we have had 4, 5, 6 days of absolutely glorious sunshine here for some brilliant racing. We are, at weekend number 3, Miami Autodrome. We started the season at Sonoma Raceway over in California. Beautiful track, rolling first few corners up in the grassy hills, down and across the drag strip. Then Daytona International Speedway, the legendary banking, just the biggest racetrack I've ever seen. It was my first visit there. So impressive. Miami Autodrome now, the Formula One circus was here 2 weeks ago. Then we're heading to the Brickyard, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Watkins Glen International, Laguna Seca. And those drivers who choose to continue their championship campaign across the Atlantic Ocean will head to Mugello for the finale mondiale at the end of October. Tell you what, that might well rain there. Miami, the venue. Here's a look at the track outline for you. Turn 1, the first part of the track, the same as F1. Sequences of corners linked together. If you mess any of them up, it's very difficult to recover. Tricky braking zone at turn 10 into the chicane. Turn 15 has claimed a few victims. Turn 17 is where we've seen most of our overtaking just before the last two corners onto the start-finish straight, all around the Hard Rock Stadium. The cars are rolling out onto the grid. I say it is hot. The drivers are in the cars already. And wow, look at that. What a backdrop. 42 Celsius, 31 air. That's the track temperature. Pretty similar. Well, almost exactly the same as yesterday. I think a kilometre an hour different on the wind. And that's not going to make any difference to these guys. So it is hot, hot, hot out there. And we still lack a little bit of data with regard to tyres because there were a fair amount of incidents in yesterday's races and in qualifying, but no incidents this morning in qualifying, and we're hoping for the same in the racing today. My name is Andrew Coley. Alongside me is Tony Villander. Tony, qualifying suggests that the drivers have learnt their lessons about the walls.
Yeah, it's true. We saw some optimism yesterday. Today, even faster lap times than yesterday. So a little bit of improvement with the race car, but mainly with the driving. How to be ready in qualifying earlier this morning, how to approach the race, some lessons learned from yesterday, how and where to restart after the safety car, some misunderstanding with the acceleration zone and the green flag yesterday. Mitchell Green was on a flying lap. He's starting from the front row. On his fastest lap he actually spun, that's very little the wall, and he was 4/10 under his fastest lap time. So,
oh, no way.
A lot of effort from Mitchell Green. He was the one leading the field behind safety car yesterday. So a little bit of pressure on him with the fact that yesterday's restart wasn't that good, and also a little mistake this morning. Jan Bernier, solid performance, really good lap from him starting from pole, and great continuity for Michael Owens in Shell Am. After yesterday's win, he's on pole again.
Yeah, great performance by him in qualifying. Everybody was absolutely on it. We didn't have any incidents other than one car dragged off at the end of a session. No damage on the cars. I say Mitchell Green was the only one who just tapped the wall with a little spin. Nothing major. So we're hoping for the same in the races today. Down on the grid in that baking heat is, of course, Nina Jade Paul.
Moments away from the start of the race here at the Miami International Autodrome Centre, and everybody on this grid knows just what is at stake. The stage is set for what could be a defining race in the Ferrari Challenge 2025 Championship as the championship battle intensifies. Now, we are on the last few races of this weekend, so every point from here on out really matters ahead of our next round in Indianapolis. I mentioned yesterday the atmosphere was electric and contagious. It's much of the same today, but there has been an energy shift in our drivers. They mean business today. And it's not just the high stakes adding pressure. This Miami heat is turning this circuit into a real test of endurance. Track temperatures are soaring, throw in the tight braking zones, and walls ready to punish any mistake, and we are in for a great day of racing. Let's go.
Thank you, Nina Jade. Go and find some shade. It is very hot down there. I did tell her to get an umbrella yesterday. I don't know whether she got round to that or not. It's our camera people out there are struggling as well, so thank you to everybody who is working in this incredible heat, not least the teams, of course. A lot of them are under awnings out in the trucks, in the paddock. It's a bit different than being in the air-conditioned garages. The temperatures out there, I say, are pretty insane. You've got the foil blankets over the windshields of most of the cars, even the roofs look of some. Umbrellas are up. It's tough conditions, Tony, and you do need to be fit if you want to bring your A game to this.
Yeah, that is true. The toughest moment is always when the race car is stopped, when you are parked on the pre-grid, or you stop just before the race, so you don't get any airflow inside the car. As we can see, the teams are covering the windshield just to block the sunshine and the heat from the cockpit inside. And yeah, you need to be fit. You can use the AC, the air conditioning inside the car, but some of the drivers do switch it off just to gain 0.01 horsepower. I think it's more psychological thing than actual gain on horsepower. But yeah, 30 minutes of test for the drivers and the cars, and these conditions are quite hard, quite brutal, so it's very, very hot out there.
It sure is. They're heading out for their reconnaissance lap now, then they'll come around and form up back on the grid again. If you missed yesterday's action, how dare you, where were you? Take a look at this. Ferrari Challenge North America from Miami International Autodrome. All the razzmatazz you would expect from the city of Miami, with the cheerleaders from the Miami Dolphins, daytime fireworks, helicopter flyovers, and that was before the racing began. First up, Trofeo Pirelli. The action had been hotting up at the front of the field at our last rounds at Daytona. You can see Johnny Kaminsky losing out to Manny Franco for P3 and P4. Offie Levy getting stuck into the racing further down the pack. On board with Medler here. Medler running over the curbs. Up the inside went Massimo Perina, and that contact put the championship leader out of the race. Perina dropped down the order. Manny Franco was out front. Kaminsky couldn't answer his pace. And it was Manny Franco who would go on to take the checker flag, with Offie Levy winning the Pirelli AM category. Celebrations all round meant a lot to the drivers to be on that top step of the podium. On then to the Coppa Shell encounter, an absolutely packed grid. Green flag and the action was underway. Mitchell Green leading in a different car. He had a crash during practice and had to swap machines. Unfortunately, at one of the restarts, he didn't react quickly enough to the green flag and was swamped by the rest of the grid. This was Stephanie Herfield and Melissa Kozira coming together at turn 1. But unfortunately, there was a bigger crash elsewhere on the circuit, and that meant that the cars had to follow a full course yellow safety car for a little while before the red flag was brought out. That meant that John Viscup was the winner of Coppa Shell, and Michael Owens over the moon to take the win in Coppa Shell AM. Champagne for the winners, cheerleaders down on the floor of the stadium, Ferraris where you normally see football, flames. Fantastic action all day long here in Miami. Some brilliant podium celebrations in the heart of the Hard Rock Stadium. And we are going to do it all again tomorrow. Great stuff yesterday. An amazing opening ceremony. It really was. It's an impressive venue. My first time, I think, at an NFL stadium. I'm pretty sure it is. It was my first time the other night at an NHL stadium. I've been to a baseball game before, but slowly ticking them off the list with my various trips to America with some of the wonderful motorsport I've been lucky enough to experience over here. It was an impressive opening ceremony, was it? I mean, we did have Jets in Sonoma. I know you weren't there, Tony. We had a full 15-20 minute display from Jets. Yeah, we do like to lay it on, don't we? But this one was special.
Yeah, it was a great start for the weekend yesterday. F1 style. There was everything from fireworks to helicopters and like we saw the cheerleaders. So great to see the atmosphere building up towards the races and the level of preparation that is coming from Ferrari's side. So these are just very, very nice weekends to be part of. And yeah, we had good racing yesterday, but we've seen in many occasions that somehow the second race day brings even better racing. So that is the thing we are expecting for today.
Yeah, normally the drivers are a little bit, when we say better racing, we often mean cleaner racing, don't we? Which obviously means proper racing. Yesterday it was a combination of restarts and yellow flags and full course yellows. And if we can keep it clean, then these drivers do put on a bit of a show. And each of the previous rounds, it has been the second day that's provided that show. Hope we get the same today. That's Chuck Whittle, the 166, the fantastic chrome livery, which I imagine look at that, it does look cool, doesn't it? If you're following that in the sunshine, your work's getting hard. The 151 is Brad Evans with the kind of camo colours on the front there. The low rumble of the engines in the background, I imagine that's for most of them to keep the air conditioning going. Brian Waltersdorf in the 111. Cars all looking quite pristine considering the amount of action they have done. Stephen Chen. So Stephen Chen, this is his first weekend in the 123, which is a very cool number, I think. So yesterday he was at the back of the grid because we qualified, having had to abandon the session, qualified by championship points. But today he went out and put in a great lap. Stephen Chen, I think, was fourth on the grid. Yes, he is fourth on the grid. So nicely done by him. Really keen to see what he can do during the course of the race. Kevin Orsini, Wide World Ferrari, another cool livery. Look at this. What about this for a venue? I was lucky enough to head down and present the Track Attack podium in the floor of the stadium, which you're just flying over the roof of the Hard Rock Stadium. It is an absolute monster. I mean, we had 105,000 seats in Daytona in a row down one side of the banking. That was impressive, I have to say, but when you've got it all around as well, that's a sight to behold. Very much looking forward to heading to Indianapolis. I'm lucky enough to be visiting 6 new racetracks this year in America with Ferrari Challenge North America, and they're all ones I haven't been to, and having been lucky enough to be involved in the sport for a longer than I like to admit, it's cool to go to new places. Indianapolis, Tony, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. beautiful venue, a lot of history. I wasn't able to visit the museum there; it was under renovation.
Oh,
I
cool.
think
Should we go this year?
It might be open for this year's event. Obviously, the Indy 500, all the races that then been done there in the past. And what funny was that having not raced there before, last year I did 2 races there
No
in the
way.
end of the season. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I did the 8 hours of Indy, so it's an SRO championship race, and then I also did a few weeks apart. I did the IMSA race. I think was the other one was 8 hours, and IMSA was 6 hours.
So you
So
must have been on it by the time you left for 14.
yeah,
you know.
let's say on the last laps I knew where to go.
Yeah, you had an idea. Was that all daytime racing, or did it head into the evenings?
No, it was daytime racing.
Yeah, daytime. Okay. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe
really
the 8
looking forward
hours was towards the evening. Yeah.
There have
But-
been some big shunts there this week with IndyCar getting ready, of course, the month of May ahead of the Indy 500.
Yeah, it's true. I've been following it a bit. Actually, being part of the TV commentating also for Finland with F1. IndyCar is another championship that I follow very closely. I do like the racing and the format and the championship with the different tracks, and you need a lot of talent to be fast on the street circuit, the ovals and everything together. But the speeds they are going this year in Indy 500 is crazy. I think 236, 35 miles per hour.
It's pretty wild, isn't it?
It's wild.
With the hybrid engines.
Yeah, they have hybrid this year, so maybe
Extra
that's the
quick.
key for the extra speed.
Let's head down to Nina Jade Paul on the grid.
And it's time to go racing. Drivers, start your Ferrari engines.
Here we go. Come on now, press that button. Let's go. There we go, in the background. Lovely stuff. There you can see the little that's it. There you can see the little number plate on the back of the car. So that tells you in yellow that it's Coppa Shell. And 106 is Gary Ott. Now, Gary yesterday had a good day, qualified 5th and finished 2nd. He wasn't quite so happy with his qualifying today. Funny enough, he's in P5, but he was same as he was yesterday. Of course, yesterday was done by championship, so that will be why he was hoping for better today. Ott has been right at the top of the timesheets during the course of the weekend. Looking forward to seeing what he can do here. Particularly keen, as Tony already said, to see what happens with Mitchell Green as well, who's had such a fantastic season so far. 3 pole positions, 4 times on the podium, and yesterday ended up 5th, although we may see a couple of penalties. The stewards at IMSA are still looking through things from yesterday. There was a fair bit, so we'll bring you updates on that at the next round, I'm sure, exactly who got penalties where. Nina Jade not only with the start of their engines now, but waving them off on the grid as well. About time then to go racing here at Miami International Autodrome. Coppa Shell and Coppa Shell Am out on their warm-up lap before the safety car will release them in 2 rows down to that tight, tricky turn 1 where we saw a lot of action yesterday. This is race number 2 of weekend number 3 Ferrari Challenge. 6 weekends in America before, of course, the finale Mondiale in October. This is your grid. Jan Bernier with the pole. Mitchell Green had a spin and tapped the wall when he was on an absolute flyer. Can he get him on the run to turn 1? Brad Evans and Stephen Chen. Chen a lot further up the grid today. Gary Ott felt he could have been further up, and as Osvaldo Gallo. Row 3 is Brian Waltersdorf and Chuck Whittle. Row 5, Kevin Orsini, William Naranjo. On row 6, it's Roy Carroll and John Lennon. John Viscup, yesterday's winner, down on row 7 with Michael Owens. Lance Corley and Gabe Hribb are row 8. Melissa Kozira and Paul Lynn, row number 9. Louis Flory and Ed Vartugian, row number 10. Then it's Jeffrey Nunberg and Fabian Sperman. Danny Patel and Stephanie Herfield are row number 12. Row 13, Alberto Duran and Matthew Herfield. Row 14, David Williams and Henry Hummel. And row 15, 30 cars, an enormous grid, Jeffrey Keel and Helen Chu. Jeffrey got dragged off the grid this morning after going tech, so he didn't manage to put a lap time in, so he'll try and battle his way up. Also, Viscup, yesterday's winner, remember, being further down the field. Michael Owens right there with him at the top of Shell Am. So it was yesterday's two winners are actually on the same row, if you like, although they will be separated by the gap between the two categories. So they'll grid up now left and right. Last little bit of tyre warming. You see Miami's traffic in the distance there. Look, either side of the long straight. Out on the freeway, they won't be going as quickly as this lot are, or if they are, they're going to be in trouble with the local law enforcement. 160 miles an hour we saw for peak speed for Mitchell Green during his practice laps around this point just before they dive on the brakes down into turn 17. Mitchell Green in the yellow car. Next to him, Jan Bernier. Jan Bernier has the pole, remember, because the pole is a right turn. In the green car, it's Stephen Chen. And then down towards Yashel Am. Michael Owens and Gabe Hribb. Right, so Bernier needs to get on the throttle in theory as they come round over the line. That's the restart point. He's holding the back until the line, and then he's going to go on the run to turn one. Off he goes, so Jan Bernier nicely away. Behind him, sensible stuff. Mitchell Green goes deep on the brakes. Chen up the inside, almost in the back of Green, but manages to hold off. Chen has the inside line to the left-hander. Nicely done. Good, brave start there. Gets around Brad Evans. So Stephen Chen has done really well. P4 to P3. Yes, he was late on the brakes, but he didn't mess it up. It's well judged. And Jan Bernier leads from Mitchell Green, Stephen Chen, and Brad Evans.
Yeah, clean start. Well maintained from Bernier, who started from pole position. Mitchell Green didn't really have a chance to overtake for the lead. Shelam was a little bit more distant today for the restart, so we didn't see their start properly, but looks like a quite good opening lap so far.
Yeah, let's hope we don't see yellow or red flags today. They're all. We did say that qualifying was just so much more sensible. First opportunity's coming up. Now, if you're feeling brave, the first lap is a great time to go. Not everything is up to temperature. Not everybody's up to their full speed, their full reactions. It's a good time for a brave move.
Yeah, these are the moments where the driver can make a real difference. If you are brave enough to challenge the other drivers, like you said, the grip level is not as high yet, and these opening laps are the ones where you can really gain places.
Gabe Hribb has got around to Owens up at the front though. Here we go. So Mitchell Green, the top three have checked out already. Look, and there's a move in the background looking up the inside of Evans, but can't find a way through. That might be Gary Ott, I think, looking up the inside. So can Chen go with the front two? Oh, getting very racy here now, desperately trying to find a way through around the outside or the inside, looking to the inside line now on the brakes up into turn one. And if not going to make a move, he does make a move up the inside. And it is indeed Gary Ott. It's a great move by Gary Ott. He said he felt he could have been further up the grid, and he dispatches Brad Evans there on the brakes at the end of the straight. Well done.
Yeah, great move. He had the speed already coming to the main straight. He was all over the place. But great dive into turn one and clean overtaking.
It's Osvaldo Gaio that's in front of him with the white stripe up the centre of the hood of the car. Chuck Whittle now coming in behind Gary Ott with the chrome finish on the car. And it's Waltersdorf behind him. So a stream of cars now. Evans needs to get a bit of a wiggle on, try and defend those positions. This is what we're saying about it being opportunistic on this lap. Gary Ott with a great exit from that corner as well. So Ott now chasing down Osvaldo Gaio in front. That's the battle. You can see Gaio underneath you. Then Ott, Evans, Whittle and Waltersdorf. Those five looking to get away from the cars behind. Not so much so. Naranjo and Viscup were there too. So Viscup in the blue car at the back of the pack. Good stuff. Viscup, yesterday's winner, remember, over the curbs for Whittle. Stephen Chen kind of in no man's land between. Gary Ott now settling into a rhythm. So let's see what the gap out front was. Jan Bernier. Oh, it's tight. Look at that. Jan Bernier with Mitchell Green right behind. It was 0.9 of a second at the end of lap one, and I would suggest it's a little bit closer now. So Green's done well there. He's held on to just wait until the tyres are warm, and now he starts to apply the pressure.
Yeah, Mitchell Green so far has been really patient. He has waited a little bit for the performance from the tyres, and now the battle is on for the lead of the race.
Is he going to have a look up at turn one? We have seen some fantastic moves there. He is late on the brakes. Not so much later than Bernier. Green with the fastest lap of the race, 1:39.3, 6 tenths quicker, 5 tenths quicker than Bernier went on the first one, and that's him closing down that gap.
Yeah, the thing is, he's following the leader, Bernier, so closely, so he would need to make a move quickly. Otherwise, it's going to be an issue for the tires, for the heat, everything, the airflow from the front of the car. So would be an ideal to try to make a move early on, and then if he has the pace to try to pull away. If he tries to follow the whole race distance, it will be a big struggle.
Michael Owens is chasing down Gabe Hribb. You can see Gabe Hribb here with the kind of black and gold with the blue in the middle, behind Michael Owens. Owens, yesterday's winner, remember, he qualified second in Coppa Shell Am. Fastest lap for him as well, so he's done a 1:41.9. It's his is only a tiny bit quicker than Hribb. We're talking hundredths between them. He's closing him down now. He's getting much, much closer on this run up to the back. Good pressure from Owens on Hribb. Comes out to the side, looks to the inside line. That's brave, he can pull it off there, but he does have a look up the inside. Great respect for the two of them, leaving enough space. Gabe Hribb leaves enough space for Owens to get up the inside. Very aware of him to see that he was there.
Yeah, there was a right way to leave the space. Now we see the move going into turn 17.
Runs deep though.
Runs deep.
Owens holds on though, so Owens has held on from Hribb. That's a nice pass, took the whole length of the straight to do it, but did really well. Must have slotted up the inside in 15, I think it was, which is that one onto the straight. So they would have lost a little bit of momentum doing that, but has managed to pull the pass off. Oh, deep, deep, deep on the brakes there as well. That was late, wasn't it, on the run into turn 1. Maybe the same car that made the move up at the end of the straight. Williams has got past Lynn on that lap as well, down in P6 and P7. Just saw that flick up on the timing screen. And out front, Bernier has managed to edge a little bit of a gap over Mitchell Green. So 0.5 of a second where it was down at probably 0.1. They are using all the track, aren't they? Yeah, Bernier last time was a tenth quicker, but it looks like a bit more. He did his best lap on the last lap. Many, many drivers going on their quickest laps now. It's Chuck Whittle with, I think, Waltersdorf behind. And then Naranjo. Whittle gets the award for livery for me. I love the look of that car.
Yeah, we have some beautiful liveries in both the Coppa Shell, but also in Pirelli. So great details and great color combinations.
Look at it, just look at that. It's properly glinting, isn't it? It's the sort of thing you add in post-production for a movie, but Chuck's added it with a fantastic livery already. Coming down the straight, sparking away. Looks mega, it really does. Right, Evans trying to put a bit of pressure on Osvaldo Gallo in front. That is the 111 Brian Waltersdorf with Naranjo in behind. Whittle's got a little gap in between. Waltersdorf trying to go with him. So Whittle wants to get away from the pack behind. It's always nice if you can do that, because then you're not having to watch in mirrors quite so much. Waltersdorf using all the road though. Nicely done up at turn 1, not going defensive. The problem with defensive is you lose time.
Yeah, you lose time, and then if you're trying to make a recovery, try to gain places, then the other cars are able to pull away. And at the lead of the race, Bernier is able to pull away now. The lead is over a second right now. So let's see if Mitchell Green is letting a little bit of distance and then trying to get back to race leader Bernier later on. There's still over 20 minutes in this race. Having said that, we often see yellow flags and other situations, so if you're about to make a move, it's better make it happen very quickly.
Good to see, isn't it? People doing fastest laps at the head of both Shell Am and Coppa Shells. A lot of drivers still punching in personal bests, if not overall bests. If you're wondering who's in which category, Coppa Shell, again using all the track width. Brian Waltersdorf is really using every inch of this Miami Autodrome. The yellow FIA sun strips are for Coppa Shell and the black FIA sun strips are for Coppa Shell Am. Look at that, I'm impressed. Remembering his rules, you know, remembering to use all of the track, not getting caught by following the driver in front into the apexes too early. What's the gap this time? 1.88 last time round. Sorry, we're looking here. We're still looking at Coppa Shell Am on the graphics. So I'm looking at the gap for Coppa Shell, and it's 1.2 between those two. There you go. There you go. Fastest lap for Jan Bernier was 1 lap ago. Won't be long now, I think, before that fastest lap won't be available, because as the tyres start to get heated up, Tony, fair?
Yeah, I would say the fastest lap times come early in the race, and after that there's a little bit of degradation and grip level gets lower with the tires, so then it's difficult to match the pace of and the lap times of earlier on in the race.
Stephanie Herfield here behind Ed Vartugien, and up the inside is that Lance Corley ahead. Husband and wife team racing. Stephanie out-qualified Matthew today. Or a bit of plastic or something caught on the front right corner there. You do get that when you race in city centres, I'm afraid. It's very hard to keep everything away from the track. Remember the opening laps in Vegas with the Ferrari Challenge last year, and the track was completely green. Dirt was flying up everywhere. I'm sure F1 was very pleased to have the track clean for them. Of course, that one's particularly interesting because it's open to public traffic in between the sessions. Only really that in Monaco that I can think of.
Yeah, that's very particular. But also on this track, when you come in the practice or in the race the second day, you still need few laps to get back to the rhythm. The fact that the walls are so close, it has a full street circuit character, so it takes a lot of confidence to be fast on this track. So our Coppa Shell drivers are doing an excellent job right now.
As Waltersdorf has got the inside line, been making some great progress. Fantastic stuff. Has the inside line, goes late on the brakes and runs too deep. Going to give the position back up. No, what a shame after putting all that work in. Just runs a little bit too deep.
Yeah, brake too late and was not able to do the corner, missed the apex, and yeah, just carrying too much speed into the corner.
Well, there you go. Well, we still love a tryout. We want to see them go for it.
I don't know if Mitchell Green has done a mistake on the last lap, because the gap from 1.2 seconds went up to 2.7. So we are 1/3 into the race.
And car off in the wall on the outside. Who was that? There's a car off in the wall, backed into the wall on the exit there. We'll try and bring you a car number as soon as we can get it. Who is it? Is it Evans? I think it's Evans. Can't see with. I'd need my binoculars to be able to read that number. It is. Ah, that's a shame, from P5. So must have dropped it on the throttle on the exit. Lucky to get away with it, no damage.
Yeah, we had few moments going into the corners where there was good collaboration between the drivers. I think he might have touched the wall. Also, rear wing looks like it's not in a perfect shape. Yeah, we had some side-by-side racing where there was good collaboration between the both drivers going into the corners, and in that area of the track, if the two cars were too close, there is a very high chance there was also contact. So I think he lost it going into that corner. I think it was turn 8, and let's see if we get a replay later on.
Yeah, so a lot of drivers have managed to get past there. Naranjo has gone up a couple of spaces as well for the collection, up into P7. So Naranjo is in behind Chuck Whittle with the chrome colour car, and you can see Naranjo flashing the lights at the end of the straight as well. Do you flash the lights, Tony? You a big believer in that? You do?
Sometimes I do, yes.
Do you? Brilliant. Does it feel good being, giving them the old headlight flash?
Yeah, it shows the aggression level inside the car.
Brilliant.
More flashy, more aggression.
Okay, so the more flashing, the more serious you are about coming through. There we go. See, the fins are not as calm as you think they are. Oh, a little bit deep now. That's Waltersdorf again, I think, isn't it? So Waltersdorf was pinpoint accurate earlier on, chasing those positions down.
Yeah, it feels a little bit that things are starting to happen right now.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, we are reaching the hot point of the race.
Inside, can they get through? No, not this time, but Waltersdorf runs deep. Loses. Oh no, and spin as well. So that's John Lennon, I think, is it? I think it is John Lennon. I'm sure that's the 199. We can only see the 2 9s on it, but it must be. So John Lennon with a spin, probably with his lines slightly compromised going at the inside of Waltersdorf. But you said it, things are happening.
Yeah, this was a little bit up in the air. Drivers are starting to lose the braking zones a bit. More things happening right now.
Yeah, that's
more contact.
Too. Well, luckily for us, they're all getting away with it. Because normally if somebody ends up in the wall, we have to send the safety car out. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to full course yellow. We want to keep racing. Right, now a little bit of breathing space for Waltersdorf after the spin behind. So So John Lennon falling down the leaderboard, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, dropping away. Out front, the gap is up to 3.9, and it's another 0.7 of a second on that last lap. So Mitchell Green might just be having a day of consolidation after yesterday, but on the other hand, pace just might not be there today.
Yeah, it looks like he's lacking a little bit of pace, at least at this point of the race. Bernier last lap was 0.7 faster, so the gap is already up to 4 seconds. So great speed from Bernier. And a little bit of surprise that Mitchell Green is lacking a little bit of pace.
Right, you're seeing Gary Ott here as well in the 106, the red car behind Stephen Chen. So Ott just took 2/10 out of Stephen Chen on that last lap. And they are getting close, aren't they now? This could end up being a three-way fight for P2. This is at the minute, that's for the last spot on the podium. Gary Ott said he was feeling good this weekend, and he's now right tucked up into the slipstream.
Does Mitchell have an issue?
I think he does.
Yeah, he's really they're really closing on him.
So Mitchell Green maybe with an issue then, something coming onto the straight. Gary Ott going to dive up the inside. He's late on the brakes. The car is squirming around underneath him, but he does hold on. So Mitchell Green through the left-hander. Mitchell Green, Ott's lost a bit of time. He came in too hot, didn't he?
Yeah, we have another spin coming out of turn 15.
Oh, it's the Shell Am leader that just span. It's Michael Owens. So Owens has spun going across the curbs, maybe on the exit, and that puts this man, Gabe Hrib, into the lead. Is it Louis Flory right behind him? It is. So now the battle's really hotting up, isn't it? So Gabe Hrib leads as he comes over the line. Watch on the left-hand side, and you see Owens fall down the leaderboard. Louis Flory, Kozira on the podium. So Melissa Kozira on the podium. 1.1 seconds between these three for the win, but still 15 minutes to go. The pressure now coming on to Mitchell. Mitchell must have a problem here.
Yeah, it's surprising to see that the drivers in P3 and P4 are catching on him. So we will soon have a battle for the second place of the race.
So Mitchell Green will know, if it's an issue which he can carry to the end of the race, whatever it is, whether it's tech or whether it's something with the settings, whatever it is, he will want to get as many points as he can. So I'm not saying he's not going to let these guys through, but also the way they closed on him on the straight, Tony, I'm not convinced he's going to have any option.
Yeah, let's see how this plays out. Yeah, he's losing even more pace. His last lap was 1:41.8, so he's 1.1 seconds slower than the leader. So we can now see that Bernier is really pulling away, and we have a battle for the second place.
He's gone defensive down towards the end of the straight. Gary Ott stays out on the standard line. Chen trying to go round the outside, goes deep, and Ott up the inside. So Gary Ott there stayed on his line, just watched what was going on in front. He gets the position back, and now Gary Ott is right in behind him. Ott, or weaving across the road, trying to find a way through. Will he dare to have a dive? I tell you, he's really feeling this, isn't he, Gary Ott? He might start getting after Jan Bernier at this rate.
Yeah, looks a bit wild coming through the last corner, changing the line and the place around Mitchell Green. So we need patience here to finish this race under Green, and I think lap time wise, Cariato has a good chance to overtake Mitchell Green. He just needs a little bit of patience.
So Mitchell Green went defensive, didn't he? And he forced Chen to try and go deep around the outside. Chen went late on the brakes in an attempt to do that and hasn't lost much time. To be fair, Stephen Chen's only half a second behind.
Looked like for a moment that Mitchell Green was going wide.
Just holds on then. Maybe it's a balance issue.
Yeah, it looks like he doesn't have a great amount of grip from his tires. Maybe a tire pressure thing, or like you said, something with the tires that the grip is not there like he was expecting.
Bernier is 6.6 seconds up the road. So this is where last time that 1.1 seconds from Gary Ott was 1.1 seconds quicker, even with a pretty wild attempt at turn, turn 18 and turn 19. Ott is on an absolute flyer. So I've seen him several times this weekend. He's been loving it. He feels like he's on the pace. Battle rages on here as well for Coppa Shell Am. That's Gabe Hrib, Louis Flory and Melissa Kozira still running nose to tail. They are coming up behind. It must be Kevin Orsini. So Orsini with the Italian stripe up the top.
I think Michael Overs is back in the game. He had a spin, but he's back. He's still P5.
So he's done well if he's held on to P5, hasn't he? Really well. Chuck Whittle on the brakes at the end of the straight, and here is that battle for the lead. Oh, deep. Can Melissa get up the inside of Louis Flory? A mistake from Louis Flory. He'd taken 0.2 of a second out of Gabe Hrim on that last lap. Here they are, Flory and Kozira.
Yeah, Mitchell Green improved almost 2 seconds his lap time.
So did he just need to? Oh, did he? We're getting all the noises today. This is a great race. It's an absolutely fantastic race. I tell you what, the Pirelli guys are going to have to put on quite the show to match up to what the Coppa Shell drivers are doing here. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, lapping 1:42.7. He just took off 2 seconds. So Mitchell Green is back in the shape and matching the race leader. So a little bit weird to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Gary Ott going with him in terms of pace. There's less than 1/10 of a second in between them in terms of lap time. Around the left-hander, out at the back of the track, through the Kings. This is your battle. This is your podium. Crib, Flory, Kozira. Kozira's another one that's been all smiles this weekend and having a great time. Was that a slightly locked wheel there on the outside for Harib? Doesn't seem to lose much time as he goes to the chicane at 10, 11, 12. And there they are again. This is a proper train, isn't it? Louis Flory is right there if Rib does make a mistake. Into the left, mind the curbs on the outside. They're all pushing. They're all desperate for that little bit of extra pace if they can find it. Down at the front there you can see Chuck Whittle in front of him, Viscup and Gaio close together. What's he looking like at the front?
Yeah, the fastest man on track, Mitchell Green. Took 6/10 from Bernier, so...
Oh, someone's pulled off, that's a spin, someone's gone off to the side of the track, and you can see drivers avoiding action. Where have they ended up? There was a spin somewhere, we could hear it, and we saw a car spearing off to the left-hand side. This is a good time to make a move, because we might well get a full course yellow. There it is, and off to the paddock. Can't see who that is, they head off. It's Naranjo, so Naranjo has gone off the side, that's a shame. There we go, Naranjo dropping down with a spin and dropping off, at least out of the way, and that means no full course yellow. The pressure continues on Gabe Hrim. Louis Flory still there, it says 0.4 of a second on the now timing screen. I think it's less than that now. Mitchell Green, if he's taken 6/10 off, how long have we got left? 8 minutes. He hasn't got long enough. He'd have to take more than that. On the other hand, as Bernier roasted his tyres going early and Mitchell Green has bided his time, I think 6 seconds will be enough for Jan Bernier. But Mitchell Green with a bit of pressure from Gary Ott is on a mission now.
Full course yellow.
Oh no. Okay.
Let's see if Mitchell, if we get a restart. Let's see if Mitchell Green is more ready at the restart. We have 8 minutes to go. Depending on what kind of issue we have on track, we haven't seen it yet. So let's wait and see.
Okay, there we go, full course yellow. So maybe there were 2 cars involved in the incident where we saw Naranjo drive off the side of the track, because there was a lot of tyre squirrel and it was high speed for me from left to right in the shot. Oh man, that was fantastic, wasn't it? I think that's probably the best 22 minutes of racing we've had from Coppa Shell this year, just because of great battles both in Coppa Shell and Coppa Shell Am. Really good to see Hrib, Flory and Kozira going at it, less than a second separating them. Gary Ott too, making passes, making moves. There are the black lines from a spin, but was that from earlier on? Can't see anything from the drone that would suggest why full course yellow, but as soon as we can find out and see that the driver's okay, we'll let you know. There is the safety car. Take a breath.
Yeah, really strange to follow Mitchell Green's race. It can't be that he had wrong settings or wrong engine map or something, or wrong ABS map on the car or traction control, because he just had poor pace for several laps, went over 6 seconds from behind the leader, and then suddenly started to be on pace again and really turned around his pace, and then suddenly he was the fastest driver on track. So it can't be strategy, because the gap like that in 8 minutes that were left is very difficult, almost impossible to catch back. But something during the race that was holding him back, and then he found the speed again. So really particular stuff here. More or less, I put a note here, more or less when we hit the 15-minute mark is when things started to happen on track.
So that's what we reckon, is it? That's the point.
Yeah.
The 15 minutes is when the tyres and the patience start to run out and you start
more
making
the patience
mistakes.
than the tyres.
I think so too. I think so too. Well, there we are. Continuing behind the... Oh, my goodness me. That is a huge shunt.
This is a big...
He's out of the car. He's out of the car. Over on the right-hand side of your picture, that is Ed Vartughian, and that is a monster shunt. Wow. I can't see us getting going. Well, I don't know. Let's get the...
Wow, he lost it.
No.
Wow, big one. He lost it just coming out from turn 18. Yeah, turn 18, just approaching the last turn.
Oh, no.
Just had a slide and he couldn't correct it, and then went nose into the wall and moved the concrete wall as well.
The K rails move. We've got fluid on the track. I think this one's likely to get called, but the most important thing is he's okay.
Yeah,
nothing else matters if you're
Yeah,
involved in
always
motorsport.
safety.
Nothing else matters. There are plenty more cars, so that doesn't matter. Now let's have a look at the screen. Your timing on the left-hand side, so you guys can get an idea of what's going on. Up 8 positions, John Viscup. Well done. That is amazing. Walterstorff and Whittle, I noticed they were both over track limits in one place. I wonder if that's what these markers are for, because I think it's... We don't know if you need a couple or three to get the penalty. Certainly in Sonoma it was 5 seconds per red line, but race control, we have to leave them to do what they want to do. What else have we got? Up 8 positions, Louis Flory to P2. That's brilliant, isn't it? Melissa Kozira and Gabe Ribb, all those drivers up 5 positions off the start. Brilliant stuff. Brad Evans down 17. We saw a few issues there. Yeah. Great driving for a lot of these people. Even at the bottom end, people moving up sort of 5-6 places. So I think they'll be cruising round now, and I'm really keen to know what was going on with Mitchell. I messaged the team to see if we can get any information. So I think, I think a slight tech issue, it sounds like, for Mitchell Green, which would make
it looked
sense.
like it. Something was holding him back earlier on, and then he was able to resolve the issue, and suddenly he was back on the pace. So. Frustrating when you are driving your car, you're ready to go, you want to fight for the lead, and anyway, it's a long championship, so anyway, good result, good weekend so far for Mitchell Green. Yesterday he had a great pace. Unfortunately with the restart things didn't go his way, but anyway, if he keeps up this pace, looks like it's him and Bernier for the fight in Coppa Shell, for the title.
Absolutely. Just consistently smashing in the results, which is what you've got to do if you want to win titles, isn't it? Unlucky, I think, they're not to get all the way to the checkered flag. It's there we go. We're on the final lap, so the cars will continue around behind the safety car to the checkered flag. But absolutely brilliant racing throughout the field. Some great stuff. Massive progress in terms of the people's attention to what was going on track. We saw some great respect as well, where people got up the inside and the other driver goes, I know you're there, I'm not going to shut the door. Yeah, it's not giving up a place, that's realising there's a car there. There's a big difference. Yeah,
we saw some great overtaking, even in the tight section. Cars side by side, no contacts. Maybe we lost a little bit of patience after the halfway of the race, but anyway, better racing today, and drivers are learning. It's not an easy track, doesn't forgive at all. The walls are close on the whole lap, so if you have an issue, if you just go wide a bit, it's very easy to have a contact with the wall. So overall, good racing.
Well, there we are. The light clank of the various different constructions from F1 coming down in the background. If you wonder what all the beeping and reversing is, there are literally hundreds of people here taking various bits of the track down. I did notice the K-rail, the concrete rail down the side of the track, had been moved from that impact towards the end of the race from Vartughian. It's not in somewhere where you'd expect them to hit, but as a general rule, if it's an FIA circuit, FIA spec circuit, they will want to move that back to where it was before, so they'll have to get the forks out to do that. But we do have a break scheduled in between Coppa Shell and Trofeo Pirelli, and they might well be down there trying to get that sorted already. See the rescue crews cleaning up the track. Final lap then, behind the safety car, unfortunately with a full course yellow after some great action for 25 odd minutes. These drivers put on a brilliant show. Jan Bernier takes the win from Mitchell Green after checking out at the front of the race. Little issue for Mitchell Green, which he resolved just in time for a flying Gary Ott, who flashes his headlights in P3. It was a great drive from Ott, and also from Stephen Chen, who makes his debut here this weekend. Yesterday had to be a start at the back due to the championship positions. Today did a great performance in quali and was rewarded with a lovely result. He got fourth in the end where he qualified. He was up to P3 at one point. In Coppa Shell Am, Gabe Hrib, who you're looking at now in the 102, takes the win from Louis Flory and Melissa Kozira getting P3. So Louis Flory P2, Melissa Kozira P3. Great fight between them. Jan Bernier, though, what a performance. He'll be very pleased indeed. Bernier in the 132. Yesterday qualified second and came third. It's his second win of the year. He took the win in Daytona as well. It's his sixth podium, so 6 podiums in a row. Depending on whether or not those penalties get applied to the drivers who maybe jumped the restart yesterday, Mitchell Green may also have 6 podiums in a row. That's a fantastic fight between them. That pressure will start to build now, because if you want to win that, you're going to have to start taking some risks in quali, aren't you?
Yeah, you can see it even on Mitchell Green. He had an off in the practice. He had an issue. He was leading the race yesterday, then the restart didn't go his way. He had an off today in qualifying. He has great pace, but he needs to be aware of the situation, no DNFs, and have a good consistent run. Today he had the pace again. Something definitely was holding him back, so just patience. Next race, next weekend is a new opportunity, and this weekend he had also the pace to win the races. Bernier seems to be a little bit more consistent. He doesn't make mistakes, and it's great. It's forming up a great fight between these two in Coppa Shell.
It really is. It really is. Fantastic stuff. So they roll back to the paddock, and of course they'll be able to hand over some information, having now done a full race distance in the pack, squabbling. They'll be able to, the various teams, Ferrari of Seattle, Ferrari Westlake, Ferrari Philadelphia, the podium in Coppa Shell, and in Shell Am it's Ferrari of Atlanta, Ferrari of Houston, and Ferrari of Naples. So all of those dealerships with their various motorsport outfits will be able to head back and say to their Trofeo Pirelli drivers, right, watch out for this, watch out for that. This point we saw this amount of drop off. This is what the temperatures are, and they can just fettle things a little bit. And hopefully, we'll see a wonderful show from Trofeo Pirelli as well. That race is due to, that show is due to start at 15:55. That's 3:55 p.m. Eastern Time. So not long. How long from now? Yeah, not long. 45 minutes or so. We've got a session in between heading out, which will be F1 Clienti, and also the 499p modificators for Sport Prototipi Clienti. Those guys to have a session now, but we will have to get the those track repairs done as well. So just join us at about 5 to 4 or so. If the stream's not up, you'll know that we're just waiting for a restart, and we'll get things underway. There's a look at the paddock. I do like it when teams brand the top of an awning, I have to say. Good job from the collection there. That looks great. Got to get there are drones up now at every race. You're missing out on advertising space if you're not going to do the roof of your truck and the roof of your awning. But that looks cool. That does look cool. The circuit here looks amazing. Look, the palm leaves painted on the blue of the runoff areas. And a big shout out as well to the marshals down there and the safety crews who are doing their best to get things fixed as quickly as they can. The green machine at the bottom, that's the forks, the high ab, that comes in, and that will be what they use to move the K-rail back into position. Good piece of kit, those. Let's take a look at the results, shall we? Finished under a full course yellow, but not until we'd seen some brilliant racing. Jan Bernier takes the win from Mitchell Green. It's his second win of the year. It's his 6th podium in a row. Mitchell Green, say with the P2, means that championship fight is alive and well. Great drive from Gary Ott, deservedly in P3. Stephen Chen as well, fantastic welcome to the series, impressed. John Visca, Osvaldo Gaio and Kevin Orsini. Then it's Gabe Hrib, Louis Flory and Melissa Kozira. They are your podium finishers as well for Coppa Shell Am, up in the top 10 overall. Carol Lynn, Owens, Whittle, Waltersdorf, Nürnberg, Corley, Herfield and Patel. Danny Patel, P19. continuing to learn here. Evans, Williams, Spurman, Keel, Chu, Herfield, Lennon, Naranjo and Vartugian. Vartugian with the crash at the end. Thankfully he's okay. Duran, Hummel, Rose and Lisa Clark. Some of those drivers not starting this encounter. Yeah, Jan Bernier. Big hug for the team. Yes. Thumbs up, fingers up, job done. Got the pole, got the win. Gabe Hribb climbing out the car. Gabe Hribb was P2 on the grid, but gets the win. And I think you can. They're so stoked because the race was proper. You know, it's always nice to finish on the podium, even if something happens to somebody else occasionally. You win some, you lose some. But when you really earn it, when you really fight for it, and I feel both podiums had to fight for it today. It feels good.
Yeah, and these moments show the dedication and the effort these drivers are putting in. It's not an easy task. Street circuit, 160, 170 miles per hour, over 700 horsepower, 296 challenge car. So together, all this combination with the heat, everything, the concentration, the actual start to overtake, try to avoid all the mistakes. So it's a big relief.
I love to see it. You can hear them all shouting, yeah, man, in the background. Look how much they've enjoyed themselves. Brilliant. I'm sure the man who's enjoyed himself the most, or certainly one of them, Jan Bernier with Nina Jade.
Finally, man.
Jan Bernier, pole this morning, a win this afternoon. Talk us through your emotions.
Well, I mean, to come in, you don't expect, you hope you do well to kind of have the trifecta, and the fastest lap I think was in there too. It's pretty awesome. I have a little battle with this guy right here, so I need every point I can get. Got a lot of support. I got my wife here. I got a bunch of friends and family, so it's been kind of awesome to give them a good show. And I'm ready for, let's go to Indy. Let's go tomorrow.
I was speaking with Tino Perina, and he was saying how dialed into this 296 car you are. You're really tuned in. What is it that you like about this car?
You know, I find this car to be more suited to my driving style. It's just it goes where I want it to go. It's very intuitive for me. The old car was great and really fast, but it was harder for me to get a hand on. This one, I've loved it since the first day I got it in Coda for preseason testing last year. I'm like, I'm going to be fast in this car.
And it shows. Congratulations again, Jan.
Thank you.
Wonderful stuff. Love to see it, don't you? Made up with the result. Really pleased with how the car feels. Wants to go to Indy tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go to Indy too. There's Mitchell Green. Mitchell Green in the heart of that fight for the championship. Talking to the team, they'll be running through whatever he was struggling with to try and make sure it doesn't happen again. And again, that is all part of the learning curve. You can see his cool suit actually on the back. That's what the little tubes are for. That's to pump a little bit of cool fluid through. Gabe Hribb, our winner from Shell Am, is with Nina Jade.
Gabe Hribb, first win, and boy, do you deserve it. Talk us through your emotions. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling crazy. First win of the season. We had a great team. DeLaury, Rosa Corsa, Ferrari of Atlanta, my family, and the best coach, Jeff Westball. I mean, we just killed it. And I wanna dedicate my first win to my teammate Enoch Hurd. He tragically lost his life last year, and this is to his family, #1 position.
That's a beautiful tribute, Gabe. And, you know, you're quite comfortable in the championship standings at the moment. How does this win shape your momentum for the rest of the season?
I mean, it just hopefully secures my position. I really wanted to be a steady winner all season, and that was my goal. But my son said to me today, you got to stop being okay with second and third, and you got to really push for first, and it just worked out today.
Shout out to your son. What's his name?
Gabe.
Oh, shout out to Gabe. Congratulations.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Some lovely sentiments there from Gabe Hribb. Fantastic. Mitchell Green. Looks like he leads the standings. It was there for a split second. It came in and it went away again. We'll get it back and have a look, but it looks like it's very, very tight at the top. Indeed it is. Mitchell Green leads the standings by just 3 points from Jan Bernier. Chuck Whittle, look, is up 8 places, it says, to 156 points to P3. Gary Ott, Brad Evans, John Lennon, Brian Walterstorff and Osvaldo Gallo are your top 8 in the Shell Championship. Further down here, you can see these drivers will battle for their various different positions, but I think it's quite clear that there is a brilliant fight ensuing between Bernier and Green at the top of the table. Fantastic stuff. Couldn't be closer. And in Shell-Am, Gabe Hrib leads by 17 points from Michael Owens and Jeffrey Nürnberg. Melissa Kozira with a great result today moves up 2 places into P4. Herfield and Matthew and Stephanie Herfield down 1 place each. That's thanks to Melissa's great results, as I say. Louis Flory and Paul Lynn are your top 8. So a little bit more breathing space for Gabe Hrib, and as he said, I hope it cements my place at the top of the table. But I would say, yes, breathing space and there's breathing space. We've only done 6 races here in the States. There's another 6 before we finish off at Laguna Seca, and then, of course, they can choose whether or not they head across to the Finale Mondiale. So fantastic stuff from Gabe Hrib, championship leader with a win here today. Fantastic stuff from Coppa Shell and Coppa Shell-Am. Really enjoyed the racing. Super clean from them. So the Trofeo Pirelli guys and girls are going to have to put on a wonderful show if they want to match up to that, because it really was a clean one. Join us for that race, local time, 15:55. That's 3:55 Eastern time. We'll see you soon.